Welcome y bienvenidos. We made it to 2020, a new decade. It's insane. It's here. It's happening. And I cannot even believe I'm sitting here and filming my very first video of 2020. Last year and the year before that, I believe I did a video just like this where I sit down and share with you a little recap of what I was able to achieve this past year. I'm going to make it pretty quick. And then I also share a few goals with you. I also wanted to share my in progress vision board. Last night we actually had a vision board party, which I did vlog, and I'll include some vlog footage at the end of this video. So you guys, just in case you guys want to have when you guys watch this video, it's never too late to have a vision board party. But you basically cut out images that inspire you or portray / describe what you want to achieve for the year, goals. It can be inspiration. So that is what we did. I did a little story on my Instagram where I showed you how I set up and everything. But again, I'll put vlog footage. I'll share that at the end, but I did want to basically come on here and, like I said, share a little recap and some goals for this year. I have my little 2020 planner right here. I did go back to my video from last year, and I said this in that video too, but it's so cringy to go back even a year to look at my videos. It's just weird. Last year, what I wrote on my list, I wrote that I wanted to worry less and post more. So not be so worried about my having the perfect feed or having a theme on my feed, and just post more often. Now, I did do this a lot, especially on my Insta stories. If you guys follow me on there, I feel like most people follow me because they like to watch my Insta stories. On there, I post like home decor and updates and hauls and just what I'm doing on a regular basis, or me looking crazy, or I show you my iced coffee recipes. Just I share most of the little things that I do throughout the day on my Insta story. I also wanted to restart my Sabrina Speaks series where I give advice on like relationships, on friendships, on work, on YouTube, like just advice. I give what I think on your situation. And I did do a few this year. I actually did one with my cousin, I think it was, and then I did a few on my own, like get ready with me's, I want to say. I didn't do it as much as I wanted to this year and as much as you guys wanted me to this year. One of the goals is to kind of make it a little bit more different, I guess, and just dedicate a little bit more time to figuring out what I want to do with that. But yes, I did do a little bit more of that this year, I would say. And I was also a lot more, I think, open, especially because I did a lot more vlogs this year. Better audio. I did amp up my audio. I'm actually using my microphone that I bought earlier this year, which is one of the things that I really wanted to amp up in my quality. Travel with Darius. So when I filmed my video last year, you guys actually didn't even know who Darius was yet because I was still like hiding him and trying to cherish the moment. But yes, at that time you guys didn't know who he was, but I did say that I wanted to travel a lot more with him, and we definitely got to do that. I did want to be a lot more spiritual, and I was more so towards the beginning of the year, but I think this year I want to hone in on that a lot more and kind of make it a routine for me. I was watching Adrian Balon's video. I'm already like kind of getting into my goals, but okay, I'll touch on that later. But being more spiritual was on my list for last year, and I didn't check that off because I don't think I did it enough to where I would be fully satisfied enough to check it off. So we're gonna leave that there. Teach and learn better life habits, and this was part of my relationship one. I definitely checked that off. We learned always, though. We're always learning. Me and Darius are always learning from one another on a daily basis. We're getting better at communicating with one another and talking about how we feel about certain things, and just realizing that we're similar, but we're also two different people that we can learn from one another and from how we grew up and just what we experience on a day-to-day basis. I think that's just an everyday thing that we're learning from one another. To explore more as a couple. I think this kind of goes along with traveling. We did that a lot. To drink more greens. I was consistent with this, you guys, for the first 30 days. For the first 6 months of 2019. I was about to say 2020. I was consistent with this for the first 6 months. for sure. I was going to like places that had green drinks. I would make some here at home or at my parents' house, I should say, because I was living at home most of 2019, if you guys didn't know. But yeah, I was good with that the first 6 months, and then I fell off really bad. But I did check that off because I did drink more greens than I normally would have. I don't really like vegetables, so that's why that was on my list for last year. To be more active, and again, first 6 months, I was killing it, you guys. I was going to the gym like minimum 3 times a week, if not more, from January all the way up until like June, July. And that's the most consistent I've been since being in sports in high school, which is insane. To be more financially aware, definitely checked that off. I feel like I was a lot more smart this year with finances. I'm definitely not where I want to be, but I think I was a little bit more aware to trim down my expenses. This also goes with being financially aware. I was able to pay off my credit card debt and also trim down my car and my student loans, which is really like, I just can't wait to get rid of them, but that's definitely something that I was able to check off. Finding a hobby, I 100% did this, and that was home decor, which I never thought of a hobby. Like, I liked doing it, but I never thought, okay, this is a hobby for me. More patience, and I didn't check this off because this is something that I'm gonna keep on adding to my list. I just, being more patient, being more patient, being more patient. This is all the way around. I think I was a little bit better this year because I realized that I needed to work on it, but it's something that I feel like I can always work on. It's just being more patient. I have patience for some things, and for some things I just don't. I also didn't check this part off, which is to find a place that I would live in 1+ years or until I buy a house. So I actually talked about in that video last year, I talked about how I felt like I was gonna be moving in 2019. I felt like I was like, I'm gonna move. I just feel it. I don't know where, I don't know when, I don't know what, but I just feel it in here that I'm gonna end up moving again. And I did. In 2019, me and Darius moved in together. I didn't check it off because I don't know if this is a place that I would want to be at for like 2-3 years. I don't know. I know how indecisive I am, so I'm like, let me not check that off because I don't know. But yeah, that's a little recap of this past year. I achieved most of the goals, but a few things I feel like I can always just continue working on, especially because they're a little bit more general. All right, so with that, I think we can go ahead and jump into goals for 2020. I did write down a lot of goals that I have for this year, and me and Darius actually sat down and did these together. We did the categories similar to what I did last year. So we did career, relationship, health, financial, and personal goals. And we just kind of went through and read. As we were writing, we would say it to one another. And that way we can kind of like, again, bounce off one another. So first we did career. And for career, I wrote down to surpass 300,000 subscribers. I'm being realistic with myself. And right now I think I'm at 255. So if we can hit 300K, even if it's mid 2020, that would be amazing. But for sure, I want to surpass at least that. I want to also capture more to post on my feed. Like I said, I post a lot on my Insta stories, and I post here and there on my feed as well, but I want to post more, even if they're not the most Instagram-y photos and videos. I actually have seen Julia Haven. She does these kind of Instagram recaps where they're not so perfect photos, but she shares a little album of what her weekend was like, or if she travels, she shares a little. Like she recently went to Hawaii, and I think she did like a little album on Instagram, and you just swipe and it's a bunch of photos of the trip. They're not the most perfectly edited and Instagram-y photos, but I love watching those more raw, just like I snapped this, and this is what my weekend was like. I love that. So I want to do that a lot more without worrying so much about aesthetic. I want to buy the Sigma lens that I want. I can't even tell you the name of it. I have it saved on my phone. I think it's the 18 to to 35 millimeter lens. Get another vlog camera. I have the Canon G7X, which I'm obsessed with, but it's slowly, some of the screws are starting to loosen up and I have to constantly be like redoing them. So I want to get another one just to have a backup camera. For relationship, I have a lot written down. Me and Darius went through a lot. He actually sparked up a lot of these ideas, and I think they're all really good. So for relationship, again, to be more spiritual with one another, I want to do something. I was watching Adrienne Bailon's video, and she does something, I think she said it's called the first 15. So you take the first 15 minutes of your day to 5 minutes to pray, 5 minutes to something, and 5 minutes to something. So what I want to do is 5 minutes to pray, 5 minutes to stretch, and 5 minutes to like journal or take notes or write down any of my thoughts that I have at the beginning of the day. Of course, a summer vacation. We want to go somewhere in the summertime together, just like we did last year. We went to Cabo, completely turning work off. It was such a fun vacation. So we want to do something like that again this year. To go out of the country, and not including Mexico, because we obviously went to Cabo, which is considered going out of the country, but we want to go somewhere else besides Mexico. 2 days of couples cooking sessions, at least 2 days out of the month, which might seem like a little bit, but it's actually not. I'm trying to keep it realistic here. 2 days out of the month to learn a new recipe together or to cook together our favorite meal. We haven't done that yet, I don't think. We did, I think, once or twice last year, but we want to be a little bit more on that, especially now since we have our own home together. 3 days of one-on-one quality times, and this means 3 days a month. Obviously, we have one-on-one quality time on an everyday basis, you know, right before bed and in the morning sometimes. But what we mean by this is to take 3 days out of the month to not work the entire day, to just spend the day from morning to night together. And it can literally be a day of just watching movies here at home, or it can be a day of us going to a theme park and spending the entire day together, or going to lunch and then going to shopping. We rarely have that because I sometimes have to film. Like, for example, today he woke up at like 9:30 and had to go to work, and he won't be back until like 1 or 2. Just a full day. We don't get that often, so we put that down. Deep clean together, because we have a lot of, again, I'll clean something, he'll take out the trash, he'll do the bed, and then I'll wash the dishes. So we have a lot of random just cleaning. Last month, we did like a super deep cleaning session together where we woke up in the morning, and then I was sweeping and he would mop after, and I would clean the countertops and he was doing the bed. Like, we took an entire day to just clean everything, and we really liked it. Work out together once a week as well, whether it's hiking or going to the gym together. To go to at least 3 salsa / dance classes together this year. At least 3 sessions, and I will be happy. This next one, Darius actually wrote it down, and it's to go skydiving. And we're putting it out there. I'm saying it in this video because he said it. He wants to go skydiving, and he was very, no, I'm not doing it. Heck no, I'm not going skydiving. We're not doing that. And he brought it up. He said, something I want to write down for us to do together this year is to go skydiving. And I was like, you want to go skydiving? He said, yeah. He also said that he wants us to do more photo shoots together, more professionally shot photos. I love that idea. I think it's like such a cute tradition. So that's something we want to do. Better communication. We both wrote that down and definitely agree. Better communication is always something that is good to have down. I don't think there's anybody out there that has perfect communication with their partners. Not to sweat the small stuff. And this is something I wrote down for myself, because sometimes I can have an attitude, and sometimes I can let the dumbest little things ruin my entire day. Literally, something can bother me and I will let it linger for the entire day, and it's not good. Learn to let things go. Giving to the homeless at least 3 times this year, and that can be in many different ways. We actually said that it would be a good idea to go out and do community service, where we go and volunteer to feed the homeless, Also to make bags where it has toothpaste, toothbrush, socks, hand sanitizer, shampoo, conditioner, water, food, and give them out. We want to make a bunch of those and just go around giving them out to the homeless and giving back to the community too. More family nights, so inviting both of our families over. After Christmas, we're like obsessed with at least I am, well, both of us are obsessed with having stuff here at the house. So just having family nights where we have games and hang out here with one another, both my family and his, or cousins, friends, etc. I love hosting, and he really had a good time for Christmas, so we want to do that a lot more often as well. And we want to go to Disneyland together this year. We went to Disneyland once years ago when we had first started talking, and I don't remember, and he always clowns on me for that because I do not remember us going to Disneyland together. So we want to go for sure this year together so I can remember, but we do want to go because I feel like we haven't been there, since I don't remember. I think that was the longest one. But now, moving on to health. To eat at home and cook more at home. To be active at least 3 times a week. This is something I put for myself because like I said, I did it last year. I did it for a while. To wake up no later than 9 a.m. and to sleep no later than 10. So basically having a better sleep cycle and a more consistent one at that. Not just going to sleep at 1 a.m. and waking up at 11 a.m. That's just not it. So I want to be a little bit better with that just because I feel more productive and I have more energy when I wake up early. I get a lot more done in general. Drinking more water, that's something that's always on my list. I'm not the best at that, and last year I didn't do the best at that either. So being more consistent with drinking water and staying hydrated. With that, taking multivitamins. I used to do this last year as well, but I did it very sporadically. Smaller portions, but eat more often. Anyone out there like me and like Darius where we have a small breakfast and then we don't eat for hours and then we don't eat until dinner time, or sometimes we wake up and we get so caught up with work or doing other things that we don't end up eating until 2 p.m. and we eat like huge portions and then we're not hungry for hours and then maybe we'll have dinner. Like, that's not good. To create 3 go-to green juice recipes that I can make here at home, because even though I was good a little bit last year, I want to have 3 recipes that I can be like, okay, I want a green juice and this is exactly how you make it. Financial goals: to buy more intentionally, have more intention when I'm buying things and not just buy things because I think it's cute. Thinking before reacting and just swiping the card right away. Just be smarter with that. This is a big one for me, and I was kind of hesitant on writing it down, which is to save at least 10% of what I make and putting it in my separate account that I have. And this is something that is almost, especially if you're self-employed, this is something that should be automatic. Like, you should automatically be putting at least 15% of what you make away, because you have to pay taxes if you're self-employed. You don't pay them throughout the year unless you have adulting life 101 unless you have it already set to where you pay them quarterly. I do obviously have a savings account and I save, but what I was doing before is I would get paid and I'd be like, today I want to put this amount away. And the next time I get paid, I wouldn't put anything away. And then the next time I might put a little something away. No, this time I want to have a certain percentage every single time that I get paid. And with some banks, you can actually make it automatic to where it takes it out. So I want to do that. This one, Darius did not write down on his. He was like, I don't think I can commit to that. But having at least one no spend day a week. A day every single week where you just do not spend any money. If that means you can't leave the house, for me, I work at home, so I'm able to do that. But if let's say you go out and you work a 9 to 5, take food with you from home. If you want coffee, make yourself coffee here at home and take it to work. Do not stop by Starbucks. Do not go to McDonald's. Do not go to Target. Just do what you gotta do without swiping your card or spending any money at all. At least one day of the week. That's hard. I wrote it down. That's probably one of the only things I'm like, that I wrote down, but I'm gonna try to do it because that might help with saving money. Now, if you write that down though, you have to make sure that, okay, if you're telling yourself tomorrow is gonna be my no spend day for the week, but then the day before you go to Target and spend $500, that's also not, that's very counterproductive. Just figuring out a way to spend less money during the week. To organize my tax stuff, my tax receipts every month. I have a bad habit. I just cram it all at once. Instead, what I want to do is every single month organize my receipts by month. That way I'm not stressing out at the end and being like, where are all my receipts and I'm missing this, I'm missing that, or I'm looking for things last minute. Doing your taxes is already stressful, and doing it when you're self-employed is even more stressful. And doing it when you're self-employed and unprepared is just, you basically are torturing yourself. And then I have a few more written down under this category that I'm just gonna kind of keep to myself. But for the most part, that is it for financial. Now, personal, I want to relax more and learn to take days off, which I've been pretty good with this towards the end of this, I should say towards the end of 2019 and then the beginning of this year. I'm just now getting my first video up of the year, and we're already like a week into January, which I did last year as well. But just learning to take a breather here and there, have a chill day, sitting on the couch watching Netflix or watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, or just whatever I want to do, and not necessarily always having to be like, oh, I have to go to Target today, I have to go do my nails, I have to go film, I have to edit. Just relax a little more. The first 15, I already pretty much touched on that. To read more books. Something that we both wrote is to honor our commitments. And what we mean by that is to be more timely. And that can be with one another, to be more timely with family. If we say we're going to attend something, that means that we're going to attend it. Or if we can't for whatever reason, to be mindful of other people's time and to let them know. Now, we're not bad at that at all. We actually are really good with, like, if we're gonna go somewhere and we tell people we're going, we actually go. The thing with that though, with us, is being on time. I want to at least do one thing this year that I've never done before. And that can even count for going to a dance class with Darius, because I've never done that before. Whether it's that or it's something else, I just want to do one thing this year that I've never done. And I want it to be something that's very like obvious and apparent, not just like, oh, I got a new nail color. Not like that, but something that's big. This one can be under relationship and personal, and that's just to be a better partner in all aspects. And that's not to say that I feel like I'm a terrible girlfriend. That's not that at all. But actually, me and Darius both wrote this down. That's just to be a better partner. Writing that down can just remind me like, okay, there's always room for growth. This is one that I didn't write on here, but that Darius wrote down for me, or had me write down, is to find a way to look into home interior design, getting a little bit more serious with that, which is crazy because I'm like, this is a hobby and something that I like doing, and he wants me to really look into it and figure out a way to make it a bigger aspect in my life, because he knows how much I like it, and he says that I am really, really good at it, and he sees that I like doing it, so he wants me to just look into it at least. Now, for my vision board, I'm not done with this. I am not done with this. Vision boards take a lot longer than I thought, especially if you're a perfectionist like I am, or you try to be. This is what I have as of right now. And I want to definitely add a lot more to it, especially in these blank spaces, these blank spaces over here, and incorporate some of the things that I have written down into my board. So I have right here this girl that's working out, and a jump rope, and a sports bra, because I want to be more active. Not necessarily saying I want to lose weight or I want to gain weight, but just being active and being healthy. I think that's more realistic than putting a number or putting like weight on it. I put a basketball on here because I want to, again, attend more of Darius's basketball games and to go to his practices and just to be more involved in his program. Life and love, just because that's what it's all about. And then I also put a luggage right here, and then a beachy vibe because I do want us to go on a summer vacation this year. 300K, like I said, I want to hit that milestone this year. I put makeup right here because I want to go back to doing more full glam makeup looks here and there. I've been more on the natural train this year, which is fun and I love it. But I want to experiment a little bit more with makeup, even if it means still doing natural glam, but just trying new techniques, trying new brushes, trying new products, things like that. Balance and health, and this goes with food. I'm pretty good at or I used to be pretty good with balancing, but lately I've been eating a lot more cookies and a lot more desserts, and I'm gonna blame that on Darius. And he even said too, he's like, you were not a sweets person before we moved in together. Like, you had self-control with that, but he loves sweets. And if he's like, oh, do you want some cookies? And he's making some homemade cookies, I'm for sure gonna say yes. So that's kind of something that, oh, I thought he was here. That's something that I need to get back to, is having a little bit more self-control and balancing and learning to say, no, I'm good. I don't want cookies. I have a picture of Beyonce that's kind of coming off, but she is just goals. She's life goals. She's body goals. She's just everything goals. So I just put her on here. I have 2 little glasses here. And by this, I mean like more girls' nights. Books, of course, more reading. I put this here mainly because she is toned, but also the sneakers. I love sneakers, and just to add more to my sneaker collection, because I know some of you guys will want to see a sneaker collection video. Fashion, to get a little bit more into fashion again and be more well-rounded. So instead of, I know this past year I focused a lot on home stuff because that's where I was in my life. Last year we were moving and planning on moving, and then I was also decorating in the garage when I was at my parents' house. So it was just where I was at, but I want to also get back into more outfits and fashion and beauty and just be very well-rounded when it comes to content, especially communications on there, because we already know. For my birthday, I want to go on a snow trip. I want to, instead of going somewhere like beachy and summery, I actually want to hopefully rent a cabin with my cousins and friends and with Darius and family. So I put a little birthday cake, and then I put some snowy photos, and then I put Aquarius and then the year I was born. And I think that's it for now, right? Yeah, I pretty much covered everything. So I want to add more because I know I missed some things that I wrote down. I do also want to make one to like a collage to share on my Insta story. I did one last year and you guys really enjoyed it, so I want to do something like that, like a virtual mood board. But that's pretty much where we're at for 2020. I hope this video more so was inspirational than anything. I hope that sharing my goals inspired you to create your own goal list if you haven't already. And also it's really helpful to write your goals down physically. Of course, you can write them down in your notes, but writing them down is just, in my opinion, 10 times better, because it like almost you're engraving it in your head basically. I like to write them and then I type them out and then I read them out loud, and it's kind of like I'm going through them 3 times. So that's what I like to do. I hope you enjoyed this video. I am going to include the little vlog footage of the vision board party, but I quickly do want to say Happy New Year, and I'm excited for what this year has to offer, and I can't wait to go through 2020 with you guys and share all of the amazing moments. So without further ado, let's get into this vlog footage. But of course, before I go to that, I love you all, los quiero mucho, and I will see you all in my next video. These are some of the snacks that I'm gonna put on the cheese tray, and then I'm gonna put those in bowls right there. And this is actually a tray that you're supposed to use when you're in bed, laying down, and you want like breakfast in bed or whatever, but I'm just gonna use it as a cheese tray because I don't have a tray that's big enough. Everything that I got, honestly, is from Walmart. You can find everything there if you don't wanna, you know, take a lot of time or make homemade stuff because you wanna just do something quick and easy. I bought most of the stuff there, and I think at Target. So here I have wine glasses. I still need to put a name on this one, but I put a name on everybody's. This one is mine, if it would focus. So I put everybody's name on their glass. That way they you know which one is theirs. And these I can easily peel off because it's just from a label maker. And then these are for the kids. I still have to put a few more here as well. Here I'm gonna put lemonade, which is also store bought. I just used this lemonade right here. I got a few jugs of that. There's some more back there. And I'm gonna pour it in here, that way the kids have lemonade, and even if we want some too. And then this is for adults only. Obviously in here there's cranberry juice, pineapple juice, and peach. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of Malibu in there in a little while. And these I got at Walmart, by the way. They're not the best quality. I put them in the dishwasher so they look a little bit like they have water stains. But they're not the best quality, but they work for what I'm using them for. This is the second time I use them and they're fine. So here you put your cups on top, and then in here you put ice. That way it doesn't water down whatever drink you're putting in there. You can see the ice goes in there, and then it keeps it cool without watering it down, because you can easily dump the water out once the ice melts and then put fresh new ice. So that's what I have right here. Got the cups right here. I have this side of the kitchen completely bare because this is where we're gonna put the food. I actually ordered takeout from Olive Garden. Again, I didn't want to do any cooking. I didn't want to have to do a lot of cleanup and stuff afterwards, so I'm keeping it very simple. And then over here, I already have it kind of set up to how it's gonna be. I do still need to kind of like clean out some stuff here, but bunch of magazines, and then the girls are gonna bring even more magazines. The more you have, the better, because keep in mind everybody's gonna be sharing magazines. You're gonna be passing them around, and if you're cutting stuff out, obviously the more you cut, the less that the next person has. So as many magazines as you can find. I even got doubles of some of them. I went to Target. Target had a few. I went to Walmart, and the most that I found was at a grocery store called Food for Less. They had a bunch there. And then I put blankets and pillows all over the floor. I vacuumed the carpet really well, and I put everything down here. That way some of us can sit on the couch if we wanted to, and then some of us can sit on the floor. Just very chill. I also have my planner and my notebook kind of ready to go. And yeah, this is kind of the vibe. I'm gonna turn on some candles and everything to make it like nice and cozy and whatnot. And then my cousin's gonna bring glue sticks, more scissors. They're gonna bring more magazines. The boards, I went to Walmart, and I wish I would have had time to go to another one, because I found these thick half foam boards. They're not like the full size, and these are the perfect size.
It's not for me to say you love. Go with the brothers, boo, you know how we do. It's
okay, put birth control on that damn board.
I'm like, cut out her hair, please. I need that red hair. Beyonce. That's you. You're halfway there. Hello.
right there? Frida, what do you think? Frida.
We all have a nose.
Girl, you're deaf.
Oh, I